Hi everyone, I'm Martina Galli from POLI.design, and today I will be moderating the presentation of the Specializing Master in Artificial Intelligence for Public Services. Please feel free to use the chat to submit any questions you have, which we will address in the second part of the session. And now let me introduce the speaker, Marzia Mortati. Thank you very much. I leave you the floor.
Thank you, Martina, and welcome everyone to this quick presentation of this wonderful master on artificial intelligence for public services. As Martina said, my name is Marzia Mortati. I'm an associate professor at the Department of Design of Politecnico di Milano. And as you can see from this picture, I'm one of the founders of this wonderful adventure that this master represents, together with other 5 expert and high-level people that have all contributed to making this master a wonderful training journey for all the public servants, public sector employees and consultants working for the public sector, willing to go deeper into what it means to uptake artificial intelligence for innovating public services. So this master was born from our understanding of the urge and the need for public administrations to uptake digital transformation in a meaningful and responsible way, and in particular to become more equipped to steer this digital transformation through the responsible and meaningful uptake of artificial intelligence, looking at artificial intelligence not just as a hype technology, but also as a meaningful tool that can be demystified and used in appropriate ways for serving citizens and the societies for the greater good. So this master is a master that was born from this urge and is become nowadays a consolidated offer that lasts for 12 months. It is offered in a blended modality because it is mainly hybrid. It happens online with lectures and sessions scheduled in moments of the day that do not overlap with working commitments. And at the moment has reserved 40 seats for the next edition, which will start hopefully toward the end of September 2025. This is a master, as I was mentioning, that comes from a long tradition. The one starting in September will be the 5th edition, in fact. And because of this, it has already created a huge cohort of experts, alumni, and people involved in the community of AI for Gov, as we like to call it, that are working to steer this meaningful digital transformation of the public sector and public organizations at large. In the first 3 editions of this master, we have trained 110 students coming from about 21 different nationalities, not only in Europe, but across the world. We're very proud to say that 43% of these people were women, because it is always known that women in technology are a less addressed target audience, while for us are a very relevant target audience, in fact. And we're also very proud to say that more than 90% of the students attending this master are currently public sector employees, which means civil servants, consultants working for and with the public sector, the public organizations, as well as other types of public employees involved in working with any type of public organization across the world, whether it is operating in national, regional, or local level in municipalities. So let me also give you a few directions for how this master is thought. First of all, it is very important to underline that this master is an executive one. What does this mean? It means that we have thought about this training journey, this educational offer, as being offered mainly to people that are already working. Our ambition is to work with people that are already part of the public sector, with any type of public sector organization or broader, bigger research organizations that work for the public sector, like the OECD, the JRC, and other types of agencies like UNESCO and so on. Therefore, being this an executive training offer, it means that the lectures are scheduled, as I was already mentioning at the beginning, in moments that try to overlap as less as possible with existing working commitments. This means that we mainly schedule sessions in the evenings, in the week, because we also recognize that weekends need to be free for family and other personal commitments. And we also schedule our sessions part-time, which means that we try to make our offer as compatible as possible with any type of job that you might already be involved with. This also has urged us to deliver our master mainly online, which is the main environment. The virtual environment is the main one in which the sessions take place, while we also join to this online offer two face-to-face moments, which are two events that happen across the yearly journey of the master, and that offer further possibilities to build teams, to network, to get to know better your classmates, which are as expert as you are and as engaged in the topic as you are, but also give you the opportunity to engage with other further experts that we invite to these events. And then we are also very proud to say that our training offer is project-based. It means that we do not only teach theory, but we try to give you the starting theory, but then we also give you the tools to apply this theory in your job, in your practice, giving you methodologies, methods, and tools through which you will be able to then steer the adoption of artificial intelligence for innovating the public services that your organizations will deliver, or to steer other organizations in doing the same. So building on these, we have several learning goals. All of those are very important for us, but above all, what we try to do, for instance, through the theoretical part of the master, is to give you the tools and the basic knowledge to evaluate and govern AI real benefits for the public sector. As I was mentioning before, demystifying the idea of what artificial intelligence is, can do, and what are the different techniques and different objectives that can be used. Always doing this with a very relevant human-centric approach, which is the one that we bring in particular to the teaching of this master. Very related to this is the idea of giving you the tools and the methods relevant for designing and managing practical AI projects. And therefore, what does it mean if you are an employee, a public employee working in a municipality, for instance? What would it mean for you to procure this system, recognizing that you will never probably be the one developing these systems directly? How can you build a good collaboration and a fruitful understanding with the agencies or the companies that you will procure in order for your future AI-powered public services to be relevant and to respond to the objectives that you want and the priorities that you have for your organization. So here is also to reiterate a little bit of the structure that I already described. So to go through it again, the classes will be mainly held online in the evenings and during the week. Mostly the 2 days in which we hold sessions are Tuesday evening and Friday evening. These are complemented with in-person events. Ideally, one of these events will happen in Milan and one other in Madrid, but these locations may be subject to change according to opportunities that arise yearly and time by time, also due to the ongoing collaboration that we establish with our reference community and our alumni. There are constantly organized talks with experts. Not only the lecturers that you will meet throughout the masters are experts, but also other further external experts will be brought in to meet you and discuss with you. And then, as I already mentioned, the hands-on projects are the part highly related to the project-based learning, which is for us the main pedagogical approach that we adopt in this master in order to give you the possibility to translate the theory into practice and really understand what could be a good way to adopt artificial intelligence in your organization. So all of this structure is underpinned by a few main areas of focus that are very important for us and that we tested thoroughly throughout the 4 editions, the 4 different editions that we've already run. So certainly an important component for us is governance. How do we govern AI? How do we govern data? And how do we do this ethically, which is a very central question for any public administration nowadays. Then, as I was mentioning, the human-centric approach is underpinning the entire master. Anything that we do, any project that we develop, any new public service that we devise throughout the master and in the hands-on projects that you will be guided to develop throughout the master, is underpinned by the principles of human centricity and the question of how can we make artificial intelligence meaningful and relevant for the people that it will serve. And then the focus on use cases is also very important, learning from other organizations and other countries that have gone through their journey as well, and that have achieved successes or failures is very important to learn through example, and also to nurture the network and the community that we build through this master. The technical knowledge is as well a central component. We cannot talk about AI without a good basis that comes from the technical side, so understanding AI techniques, but especially gaining enough knowledge to know how to manage artificial intelligence and, as I was mentioning before, even more important, to procure AI intelligence solutions. And then the global networking and the partnership building. This is something that we constantly nurture, that it is nurtured also through the events that we organized. And for instance, in the current edition, we're going to have the second event at the end of this month, the 30th of May in Brussels, built through the collaboration of our alumni, and in particular one of our former students that joined the very first edition of this master and that is now working at the EU AI office. So in order to deliver these main areas of focus, we also have structured our training offer across a few modules. And as you can see in this slide, these are the main topics that we touch upon throughout the one-year training. We start from a broad overview of AI in and for the public sector. How have we arrived to talk about this topic? How has this topic become relevant for the public sector and for public administrations? And what are the current examples that we can learn from? And then we have, in the second part of the master, we have a mix between the second and third module, where we start exploring AI techniques as well as the human-centric approach, and how these two components, which are the two main pillars of our master, can be mixed and used together in a coherent methodology. And then very important, in parallel with this, we also start exploring AI and ethics, and all the related topic and the very important ethical questions that come with adopting, implementing, and developing or procuring AI systems. This is the structure of the first 4 months of master, where you mainly acquire the theoretical basis, and then in the second half of the master we move on to the hands-on projects, where all these theoretical points are applied in concrete projects that you are guided to develop end-to-end. In this case, you work in groups, sometimes in groups, sometimes individually. And through the group work, you also master a different way of building relationships, building fruitful collaborations that will hopefully last also beyond the master itself, and give you the possibility to build your network of further AI enthusiasts for the public sector across the world. And then the whole path is completed through the development of a master thesis, which is often led by you with the aid of a mentor who's an external expert that works with you on developing your thesis. You're free to choose the topic, any topic that might be a priority for your organization or that might be a relevant objective for building your future career is welcome in developing the master thesis. And of course, we constantly try to select the right mentor and the right expert to support you in developing this topic that you are very interested in at best. So what are the possible professional outcomes for any person undertaking this path? We envision gaining the competencies that will make you an expert in this area, which means that you will be able to work as an AI service manager, for instance, in a public organization, mainly dealing possibly teams that are constantly being created in public organizations nowadays to uptake AI and to strategically understand how to uptake AI in these organizations. Or you can work as a digital innovation specialist, as a digital transformation manager, all of those in again, public sector organizations. And in fact, these organizations, as I was mentioning also earlier, can act at any governance level, at any scale. They can be local in a municipality, they can be regional, they can be national in national governments, for instance, or they can be European. In fact, throughout the 4 years, many of our students have also come from different European agencies working with and for the European Commission, very interested in understanding how to uptake AI for innovating their public services. But other possibilities are international organizations like UNESCO, OECD, JRC. All of those are organizations with a much broader reach, but all of these organizations are certainly interested in mapping the landscape of AI, strategically understanding how AI is evolving in the public sector, but also giving guidance to governments at all the levels of governance on how to build capacities for artificial intelligence and how to steer their adoption of artificial intelligence. So these are also possibilities for future job positions. And I'm very proud to say also that these organizations are already part of our alumni network. And in fact, in the past editions, we've had already students, participants, AI for Gov pioneers, as we've been calling them since the very first edition, that were already working in these organizations and that were studying with us for improving their capabilities and their understanding, or that have started working in these organizations after having gone through our master. So why choose this master? I think that I've already explained these motivations very well. If you are very interested in AI, if you're already working in the public sector at any level, if you are interested in expanding and deepening your knowledge and your network in particular, towards these topics and developing yourself as a future digital transformation leader for your organization or for a new type of public organization that you might want to help shape or envision, certainly this is the master for you. This is where you will be able to link and connect to an already existing global network of enthusiasts and experts, and you will certainly be able to find a safe space for exploring, experimenting, and building further your capabilities and strengthening, empowering your capabilities to become that type of digital transformation leader that our public organizations so deeply need in the 21st century and in the future that we envision with multiple uncertainties coming our way. So to conclude, this master is also offered by renowned organizations, in particular the Universidad Politecnica de Madrid and Politecnico di Milano, together with POLI.design as the managing organization of the master, offer the final degree that you will get through this master. And this is further reinforced by the award that we were given by the European Commission 2 years ago as one of the most innovative initiative in digital upskilling at work. We are very proud of having received this award, and we are very happy to continue this adventure and keep nurturing the legacy that we've built in these 4 years of AI for Gov.
So thank you very much. And I'll take the floor again to provide more details about the application process for the next edition of Artificial Intelligence for Public Services, which will begin in September 2025. On the Specializing Master webpage, on the POLI.design website, you will find the full list of required materials for the selection phase. By clicking on the Apply button, you will be able to create your personal account and upload the necessary files. The application will then be completed on the Politecnico di Milano website by uploading the documents related to your academic qualifications. If you need any assistance during this phase, you can book a call by scanning the QR code you can find in the slide. Then there are two main steps to follow. The first one is the selection step, which must be completed no later than 60 days before the course starting date. And the second one is the enrollment step, to be completed within 45 days. Please note that the applications are processed in chronological order and spots are limited, so don't wait for the last minute. Additionally, by uploading your documents, you will already be eligible to attend the next recruiting phase that will be on May 27, from May 27 to May 30, 2025, of course. And you can find the course fee listed on this slide, along with our promotional policy designed specifically for this program. An initiative to support the design potential of those who choose POLI.design. In particular, I'd like to highlight the early bird of 15% until May 30, the public administration boost, the discount for PA organizations, and finally the discount for every employee from the public administration. And now let's move on to the Q&A session, and I'll start by reading the questions you wrote in the chat room. So the first one is, you mentioned AI techniques, but did not touch on design. Will there be design thinking and methodologies such as using AI to prototype through low or no code tools, using AI for user research and content analysis, using AI as the service of or product itself, such as a model to engage the public?
Yes, indeed. Thank you for the question and for giving me the opportunity to also deepen on this aspect. For sure, we have a central design component in the master, and this is also why the Department of Design is one of the pillars and one of the organization institutions that is offering this title. For the design part, we mainly hinge on a service design approach, which we first introduced theoretically, trying to explain what is the difference when it comes to adopting a service design approach for developing AI-powered public services, and what is ongoing and what is specific to the public sector there. And then we deepen this initial understanding through other, let's say, both theoretical and practical classes. One of these is specific to user research, in fact, where we explore how to conduct user research when you want to develop an AI-powered service, and also how to use AI for conducting user research, which are two sides of the same coin from our perspective. And we have another module as well that is focused on prototyping, exactly, where we explore what are the novelties when it comes to prototyping public services that are AI-powered, as well as what does it mean to use AI for prototyping. So also in this case, exploring the two sides of the coin, but also with a specific look at organizational change in this case. And what does it mean for organizations to prototype AI-powered public services, and how this can engage organizations into transforming how they work and the profiles that they need. Then all of these say both theoretical and practical parts are further developed throughout the hands-on projects where we cater these, or we apply this knowledge into at least two main project-based activities. One of those is more linked, more focused on translating the outputs that an AI system produces into interfaces and dashboards that people can use and understand. For instance, dashboards that can support decision making or that can support citizens in collaborating better with the public administration. And then in another activity, we focus more on active listening. We go through the process end to end, combining both the acknowledgement, the selection of AI techniques, and the adoption of a human-centric approach to develop complete solutions for public services that are both human-centric and technologically viable and meaningful.
Thank you very much. Another question is, can the activities in Italy and Spain be attended online? If a person cannot be there, will the activities be recorded or made available to students?
So I guess that in this case it is referred to the two events that we organize,
yes,
in-person events. So ideally we like to have all of the participants as much as possible participate in these two in-person events, because for us they are key moments for building the team of the class, getting to know one another a little bit more, and therefore in order to give a better opportunity to join these activities, we also schedule them over weekends. So we try to affect work life as less as possible also in this case. Of course, we recognize that there can be other issues that come into the way, and therefore people might have other commitments arising at the last minute, and therefore they will not be able to join both events. Maybe they are able to join one, or maybe they can join only one for half of the time, and so on. So we try to support these as much as possible. We try to record as much as possible also the sessions, but it is also important to underline that many of these activities that we run during the in-presence events are thought for being in presence. Therefore, sometimes the recording is not so effective because there aren't so many, let's say, frontal lectures or speeches that would make sense to record and then share, but are rather collaborative activities during which participants join also creative sessions, what we in design call workshops. So these have a different type of approach. They nurture different type of learning for which we really aspire to have all the participants present as much as possible. But we consider these on a case-by-case basis, and we try to support all the participants in any way that we can.
Okay, thank you. Then, is it realistic to complete this program while working full-time?
Yes, I would say yes. In 4 editions, we have had the great majority of our participants completing it while working full-time. Also because the workload required after classes is not huge. It is actually thought for people that are working, so we try to also have working moments scheduled throughout the scheduled session of the master. This means that once you exit the virtual room, the virtual class, you do not have a big workload to follow up with. Of course, then it is personal. We've had participants and students that wanted to go much deeper, or that were maybe using the opportunity of the master to change their career completely. We've had several of those, and therefore during their time outside of the class time, they were studying a lot and going in depth a lot. But this is not necessarily the requirement from the master or from the lecturers. And in fact, we also give for assignments that might require some, not a lot, but some additional time outside of the class sessions. We give consistent time for delivering the final assignment, which means that then you are free to self-organize and schedule your activities in the time that you have.
Perfect. And then another one. How much of the program is in person? How much is online?
So I would say that the 96% average is online. The only activities that are run in presence are these 2 events. Let me add a couple of details on the timing of these events. Usually these events last for 1 day and a half. And usually we schedule them on a Friday full day and the following Saturday half day. Starting on Friday late morning. This means that whether they are in Madrid, in Milan, or in Brussels, as it will happen this year, you can take a flight according to where you are coming from, of course. You could take a flight in the morning of the Friday, get there in time for attending the full event on Friday. Usually on the Friday evening, we have a networking dinner that is always a very pleasant moment to get to know one another a bit better in an informal environment. And then we complete the activities on the Saturday morning, and we say goodbye for lunchtime, meaning that then on the Saturday afternoon, again, depending on where you are coming from, you could go back home and be home by Saturday evening, let's say. So this makes participating in these events quite manageable, and these are the only 2 moments in presence, really.
Okay, thank you. And then the last one, I think, can we have chance to have diploma from both universities, which are Politecnico de Madrid and Politecnico di Milano? If you want me to answer, I can answer.
Please.
The final diploma is of a joint specializing master diploma. A specializing master diploma, and it contains both the logos of Politecnico di Milano and Universidad Politecnica de Madrid, as it is a joint program. So yes.
Yes, so it is indeed a joint diploma.
Yeah, exactly. And we are done, I think. So thank you very much, Marzia, for staying with us, and thank you all, and stay tuned for the next presentation.